This talk might turn into just me having a bit of a rant, but there's something that's been on my mind today that I've only actually just had it come to my mind today. My dad, let me set the picture for you. I've been working with my dad on the gardening business now, on his gardening business, which he's run himself for the last 25 years, I want to say. I've helped him on and off my entire life pretty much. The first big chunk of work I did for him was during COVID. We went into lockdown and I was still in school at the time, but I said, fuck it, I might as well earn a little bit of money. And I went and worked for my dad for a bit. I saved up enough money to buy my first computer, which I built, which you're currently sat on right now. Not that you can see that. Anyway, and then I went and school kind of got a bit busy. I went and got a different job for a bit. But now I have come to the realization that I thoroughly enjoy gardening. I really, really love it. I'll probably do talks about why specifically I enjoy it so much, maybe in the future, maybe down the line. But that kind of gives you a little bit of background. And so I'm quite passionate about it. And I like to think, having worked with my dad for so long, that I have a pretty good understanding on how specific plants and stuff. I like to think I know what I'm doing. And if I don't know what I'm doing, my dad sure as fuck does know what he's doing. And if I ever have a question or anything, I always check with him first, just to double check that I'm doing the right thing. And at this one particular client we have, he's also very close friends with him outside of it being a work relationship, or a whatever it be, business, whatever, you get what I mean. He went and saw him the other day. I think they just went for a bike ride or something, or it might have been at a party. We essentially went there a couple weeks ago, and right outside the front of their house, they have these box hedges, and they're probably about, I want to say they're they were my sort of chest height, and on the top they had pretty good growth, relatively green leaves, but from about hip height down, they were basically completely naked. And apparently they've been like that for the last 15 years that my dad's been working on that garden for. And apparently they just don't ever grow any leaves or anything underneath them. And I said, why don't we just chop them back? It's February at the moment, so why don't we just chop them back really hard, and they'll grow back. Obviously it's gonna look a bit shit now because they're not gonna have any leaves on them for a bit, but we're going into summer, so that they're gonna start budding up and they will start growing. And so I checked with my dad first and I said, I think we should do this. And he said, yeah, okay, this is probably the best time of year to cut box hedges back. And so we did. A couple of weeks ago, we chopped them really hard back, and they're probably only 2-3 feet tall now, and they're starting to grow. They've got little what they call buds coming out the bottoms of them, so they're gonna start growing again. And apparently so my dad then spoke to the client at the weekend, and apparently these box hedges are the talk of the village for some reason, or talk of the estate. Everyone apparently has been going over to the front of their house and taking pictures of them, and some people have even knocked on the door and said your bushes are a bit fucked, and that makes it even weirder because they're essentially on a circular estate, and they're right at the back. So for people to go there is weird. You wouldn't go out of your way to go and see their front of their house. And so for it to be the talk of the village that everyone seems to be going there is fucking funny. And apparently it's because everyone thinks they're fucked. Everyone thinks they're not going to come back. No one thinks they're going to recover. And apparently some people have even said like, oh, you should probably sack your gardeners because they clearly don't know what they're doing. Like, they're not going to, those are dead. They're not going to come back. But they're not dead. I can assure you, they're not dead. And it's just made me realize that like people think they know what they're on about when they just don't. Like, I know what I'm doing. I know they're going to come back. And the thing that annoys me the most is I know when they do come back, it's not going to be the talk of the town anymore. No one's going to give a shit. No one's going to tell them, oh, we were wrong. Like, no one's going to admit that they were wrong when they said that they're dead and they're not going to come back, and oh, you should sack your gardener. And it's just made me realize that like people are so, I don't know, caught up in, I don't know what word is I'm looking for. People just think they know what they're on about, and some people just don't trust that a professional knows what he's doing or she's doing. And I think that's just really sad. And obviously I don't care, because obviously I know the work that I've done is sufficient, and I know that I've done a good job, and I know that maybe not this summer, it will take a little bit of time for it to recover, because we did cut them back really hard. But I can guarantee you next summer they will be full from the floor up, and they won't obviously be as tall as they were before we cut them back, but they're going to be fully leafed up, and that's what they want. That's what the client wanted, and we're doing what we can. We're short of like digging the whole hedge out and like putting a new one in. Like, they'd have to obviously buy new plants that already have leaves going to the bottom. That's going to be expensive. No one wants to do that, especially when you've already got a hedge there. It doesn't make sense to do that. So, you know, we've worked with what we've got to provide what the client wants. And I don't really know what that makes me feel like, because people just need to I want to say people just need to mind their own business. And I guess, like, I don't know. It's not annoyed me, because obviously I know what I've done is the right thing to have done. But it did almost make me second guess my question myself a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to share that story. I thought it was quite funny. So anyway, see ya.